Good day, Miss. We are from group number 2, and today we're gonna present about an evaluation of the factors affecting the customer satisfaction level toward the Gadong Steakhouse, Negeri Sembilan. So we will start with the introduction. I will pass my presentation to the Mrs. Tasha.
Assalamualaikum and hi Miss Hani. My name is Natasha Emeraldine Ilyas and my metric number is 262195. So today I would like to start our presentation with introduction from this report. Okay, from introduction, there are 4 types of element in it: purpose statement, background, problem statement, and also scopes. Okay, let's start with purpose statement. The purpose statement of this report is to evaluate the factors affecting customer satisfaction level towards Gadong Steakhouse Negeri Sembilan. So the scope of the investigation is the menu and facilities which are implemented by Gadong Steakhouse Negeri Sembilan. Next, I'll move to background of this report. So Gadong Steakhouse is a solely owned business which is owned by Mr. Muhammad Shah Azmi bin Ibrahim, a 33 years old man. Mr. Shah started to involve himself as a businessman after he stopped working as an officer from the RSB Bank in 2014 and began to open the small Western food stall. Previously, at the stall, he just made several primary Western food menus, with all of the meals was only RM5.90. So Mr. Shah has influenced by his wife, Mr. and Mrs. Nor Azianti, 33, and thought that Western food is in very high demand in that year, so they come out with this business. So at the end of 2016, what surprised them is when Gadong Steakhouse became very famous and have listed in the top 10 best Western food restaurant in Seremban Negeri Sembilan. So the word Gadong is inspired by the owner that wants to keep it the local area name in Labu district, and it is easy for customers to remember their restaurant name and the place too. So normally, Gadong Steakhouse will operate daily from 6 p.m. until 2 a.m. except on Monday. But at this current situation with the COVID-19 pandemic, Gadong Steakhouse will run daily from 6 p.m. until 11:30 p.m. only. So at the end of 2016, again, Gadong Steakhouse has moved to another better shop lot, and his new restaurant is charming and clean with the open air theme that led to the unique and exciting at first sight. While the problem statement shows that starting from 2016, the customer satisfaction level toward Gadong Steakhouse will be affected due to Gadong Steakhouse has moved to the new shop lot and with the new environment. So the factors that affecting the customer satisfaction level toward Gadong Steakhouse will be detailed out later by the next presenter. So the purpose of this study is to evaluate the factors affecting customer satisfaction level toward Gadong Steakhouse, and the respondents include customers at the Gadong Steakhouse, and this study is crucial to analyze the food quality provided to the customers, and also the strengths and weaknesses of the restaurant for future betterment. So we're hoping that this investigation will bring a positive change to overcome all of these issues. Last but not least, I will explain about the scope, and for scope, we have investigated 2 types of element, that is menu and also facilities. So in the type of food provided, Gadong Steakhouse, which primarily refers to Western restaurant, but it is more than what people expected. Gadong Steakhouse offered Western food such as chicken chop, lamb chop, also beef steak and spaghetti. But chicken chop is picked as a famous menu and being requested almost every day. So Gadong Steakhouse not only serve Western food, but they are also serve heavy meal like fried rice, fried noodles, and even different types of dishes, including tom yum and soups. So the deliciousness and the way the food presented to customers are the crucial element of their restaurant, make them be more reliable and trusted by their customers. So besides Gadong Steakhouse is visited mostly by families because of the variety of food presented. However, the food rate, Mr. Shah have stated that they serve a portion of very quality food that can make them charge a slightly higher price. In other words, price is a measure of the degree of quality and considered equal if it is comparable to the rate that's come with it. So for heavy meals, the food rate for soup, fried noodles and fried rice are the cheapest, which is RM5 per each serving. And for tom yum dishes, the food rate is from RM6 to RM8, depends on their food ingredients, either chicken, meats or seafood. So in Gadong Steakhouse, the food rate for Western food is pricey, a bit pricey, mainly because the use of the costly ingredient. So for example, chicken chop and grilled chicken, the price is started from RM9.90, goes up to RM15.90 per each serving. And for the special combo, either chicken with lamb or chicken with lamb combo or beef with lamb, the rate is between RM25.90 to RM28.90. So what can I conclude here is all the food rate is based on the quality of the food itself. So the purpose of this report is to analyze whether or not the food rate affects the customer satisfaction level. For the facilities provided, Gadong Steakhouse has two types of dine-in area, indoor and outdoor. So for those who prefer to have an open air environment while eating, so they can choose outdoor area. This Western food restaurant has 26 tables, which can accommodate 130 customers in one time, and the arrangement of the tables and chairs are very convenient for the customers. So and it is also followed the SOP due to the pandemic of COVID-19. And Gadong Steakhouse also provide the capacious car park area and Wi-Fi connection for their customers at the new shop lot. Okay, last, in the term of condition of facilities, Gadong Steakhouse will have some problems according to the bad weather when it comes to rainy days. This is referred to the open air themes in Mr. Shah restaurant, where if raining, the customer have no table to dine in at the outdoor area, and the sales for that day will drop from 50 to 70%. So according to Mr. Shah, on the peak hour, around 8:30 p.m. until 10:30 p.m., some of his customers have to wait or queue for a while to get seat and a bit slow in serving due to the deficient of tables and chairs.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurfatia binti Asman, metric number 262621. I will explain regarding methodology. The methodology contains two parts, which is the primary and secondary source. For the primary source, the method used is interview and questionnaire. To collect the information needed, the researcher conducts an interview session and distributes the questionnaire. The interview session is conducted with the owner of Gadong Steakhouse, Mrs. Nur Azianti. The interview session is conducted through Webex due to the Conditional Movement Control Order at CMCO. It intends to recognize the owner's background and company details. Also being asked are the type of food served and the facilities provided to the customer. Besides, researchers are investigating the current challenge faced by owners while operating the food court. The questioning conducted to analyze the customer thought and the level of satisfaction to Gadong Steakhouse. 50 respondents, which are customers of Gadong Steakhouse, are involved in this questionnaire. The questioning used a simple random sampling method, which means the respondent was selected randomly from a population. The questioning consists of acting question and in form of open and closed-ended question. Through journal review, the information collected from 6 journals, which searched through Google Scholar and ResearchGate. Through this journal, the researcher identified the factors affecting the customer satisfaction level in the restaurant, for instance, food and facilities. Moreover, to support information about the benefit of the variety of food offered in the Gadong Steakhouse, researcher referred to QSR magazine by Alex Dyson. The magazine elaborates that the variety of food offered can attract customers when choosing the restaurant, which can lead to customer satisfaction level.
Good day, Miss. My name is Queck metric number 262740, and now I will continue with the presentation with the part of analysis. Demographic. Okay. From the table 2 and the figure 1, show the gender of 50 respondents who have visited the Gadong Steakhouse. So from the table and the figure, we can find that most of the respondents who visited the Gadong Steakhouse is female. So the number of the female is 35 respondents out of 50 respondents, which is occupies 70% of the pie chart. So the number of male respondents are only occupied 30% from the pie chart, which is only 15 number of respondents. So in the conclusion, we find that most of the customers who visit the Gadong Steakhouse are the female. So the next one is the races. So the table and the figure, the table 3 and the figure 2 show the different races of the respondents who have visited the Gadong Steakhouse. As we can see, most of the customers who visited the Gadong Steakhouse is Malay. The Malay occupy more than half of the respondents, which is 33 respondents out of 50 respondents, and occupy 62% of the pie chart. So the second highest of the races is the Chinese, which is occupy 27% of the pie chart and 14 number of the respondents. So next one is the Indian. The Indian only stand for 11% of the pie chart, which is only 3 respondents out of 50 respondents. So moreover, there are no respondents from the other races. So from the result, we can conclude that the main customer who visit the Gadong Steakhouse are the Malays. So next one is the resident. The table 4 and the figure 3 show the resident of the respondents. So from the pie chart, we can see that the most of the respondents who stay outside of the Gadong Steakhouse area. The respondents who stay outside of the Gadong Steakhouse occupy 68% of the pie chart, which is 32 number of respondents. So the respondents who stay in the Gadong Steakhouse area are only 18 respondents, which is only occupied 32% of the pie chart. So from the table and the figure, we can conclude that most of the customers who visited the Gadong Steakhouse are staying outside of the Gadong Steakhouse area. So that's all for my part. Thank you, Miss.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Fatinur Salmiah binti Muhammad Noor, metric number 261914. I will continue the presentation by explaining the analysis part about menu. First, I will explain about the Gadong Steakhouse drinks offering. Based on the table 5 and figure 4, it shows that Gadong Steakhouse offerings. Based on the table and graph, we found out that 37 respondents, which is 74%, pleased with the drink offered by Gadong Steakhouse. This is because Gadong Steakhouse offer a variety of drinks such as hot drinks, cool drinks, and also fruit juice. Besides, the drinks also taste good and not too sweet, which is suitable for all age, especially children and senior citizens. Furthermore, the quantity and taste of the drinks are served according to the price, which is so cheap and reasonable. Meanwhile, the third respondent, which is 26%, not pleased with the drink offered by Gadong Steakhouse due to normal drinks offering. This means that the drink offered are same as other restaurants, such as hot and cool drinks and fruit juice. Some customers are more interested in smoothies and milkshakes. In addition, customers claim that the tastes are too sweet for certain drinks like Milo and Neslo. Now, let's move on to the food chosen part. Gadong Steakhouse not only serve listed food to the customer, but they also serve heavy meal and side dish to the customer. This restaurant getting famous because of its food, and that's why they can attract many customers. Table 6 and Figure 5 show the food chosen by customers of Gadong Steakhouse. Based on the table and graph, we found that 42 respondents, which is 84%, prefer Western food. This is because the customer can eat Western food at cheap prices. More Western restaurants offer Western food at expensive price, but the price set by the Gadong Steakhouse is more cheapest compared to the other restaurant. Moreover, the Western food are considered to be healthier as it contains important nutrients. Western food provide meat, which is protein, and vegetable like salad and tomato that contains vitamins and minerals. On the other hand, 8 respondents, same as 16%, prefer heavy meals due to customers that prefer to eat heavy dishes during dinner. In addition, heavy meals such as tom yum and soup dishes are very tasty and famous, especially among the elderly. Next, let's go to the Gadong Steakhouse menu. Table and the graph, we found that 48 respondents, which is 96%, like the menu offered by the Gadong Steakhouse. This is because the restaurant offers mixed food, which is Western food and heavy meal. The menu are unique because most of the menu not always have in every restaurant. In addition, variety of menu make it suit the customer preference and suitable for all age. Customers also prefer the Western food, especially chicken chop and lamb steak that serve with a big portion but in affordable price. On the contrary, 2 respondents, which is 4%, not like the menu offered by the Gadong Steakhouse. This means that customers are considered the menu as same as the other restaurant. Gadong Steakhouse using their own ingredient to make black pepper gravy causes the steak to taste different from the other restaurants. The different taste causing the food fans do not like the food provided. Next, I will explain about the food portion. From the table and the graph, we found that 48 respondents, which is 96%, satisfied with the food portion as the big portion of the food are provided. The food portion are designed with the right portion as it is enough for an adult customers. Besides, the portion are not too big and not too small and allow customers to pick up unedible food. Meanwhile, 2 respondents, which is 4%, not satisfied with the food portion provided by the restaurant. This is because customer expectations are higher than that. They expect that portions are bigger than they serve. Green. Next, I will explain about the customer satisfied with the taste of the food. From the chart and the table, we found out that most of the respondents, which were 47 respondents, which is 94, agreed with that statement. In opposite, the remaining of the respondents, which were 6%, not agree with the statement. The reason why respondents agree with the statement was because the taste of the food served by Gadong Steakhouse was different from the other restaurant, and all the menu are delicious. Besides that, respondents claim that the steak served by the restaurant reached the standard taste of Western food show. Meanwhile, some respondents disagree with the statement due to the respondent claim that the taste of the food was not impressive and does not match with their taste. Next, I will explain about the temperature of the food. The table shows the temperature of the food served by restaurant. We found that 68, which is 24 respondents, agree that the temperature of the food is hot. Some customers prefer their food served hot. It is because customers want their food just cooked by the chef and fresh. The other way around, 16 respondents, which is 32%, choose the food is semi-hot. It is maybe because they wait for the turn and the food get a little cold when they got the food. Now, let's go to the part something new should be added on the menu. The table and figure shows the opinion of respondents towards something new should be on the menu list. Based on the table and pie chart, we found that 21 respondents, which is 93%, agree that the restaurant should add new menu on their menu list. This was because this restaurant does not include dessert in the menu. Besides that, the respondent requires the restaurant to let customer request the level of spiciness of the food. In fact, respondents feel boring with the food provided on the menu. Meanwhile, 29 respondents, which is 58%, not agree with the statement. In their opinion, the choices of the food in the menu already enough and the menu list cut literally everything. Next, let's go to the value of the food in general. Table and the figure shows the respondents' opinion toward the value of food based on the value of money. Based on the table and figure, we found that 29 respondents, which is 58%, choose that the food is good value. It is because the food price is suitable with the portion of the food. Meanwhile, 20 respondents, 40%, choose the food is reasonable. Only 1 respondent, which is 2%, choose the food value is bad. That's all from me. Thank you. Let's continue with the next presenter.
Thank you, Fatin. I am Nurin binti Hairil Anwar, metric number 262099. I will continue the analysis on facilities. There are two subtopics I would like to consider, which are the first is facilities provided and the second one is the condition of the facilities. First of all, I will go through on facilities provided. Let me introduce first point, which is satisfaction on Gadong State House car park area. Based on the figure 12, which shows the respondent satisfaction on Gadong State House car park, we found that more than half of the respondents, which were 35 respondents or 70%, agree with the statement. In opposite, the remaining of the respondent, which were 30%, disagree with the statement. The reason why respondents agree with the statement because of they assume that Gadong State House car park provided a lot of car park rather than the restaurant before. Besides, they claim that they have enough place for parking as it was hard place. Meanwhile, some respondents disagree with the statement due to the respondent claim that they were difficult to park the vehicle because it was always full and too many people. In addition, some respondents state that they have to find another place for parking. The next point is the type of dine-in provided by Gadong State House. Based on the figure 13, we found that the most respondents visited to Gadong State House because of outdoor, which contribute by 28 respondents with 56%. It was because they were more likely to sit outside rather than indoor when spending their time with friends and family. Besides, they also state that they were more comfortable with outdoor seating. Meanwhile, there are 22 respondents with 44% visited Gadong State House for indoor dine-in. This was because they claim that they were more comfortable with indoor seating when they were having a meeting and need a quiet environment. Now, let's move on to the second scope, condition of facilities. Firstly, the visitor comfortableness towards seating arrangement and space. Based on the figure 14, about 45 respondents with 90% were comfortable towards the seating arrangement and space. This was because they were easy to find table when they reached there. Besides, the table and chair also always clean and neatly. Meanwhile, about 5 respondents with 10% were not so comfortable towards seating arrangement and space. The reason of not so comfortable because the table are not enough to support too many customers at the same time, and as a result, they have to wait a long time for their turn. Apart from that, the tables were placing near each other, so they are difficult to move. The next point is rate of the Wi-Fi speeds provided by Gadong State House. Based on the figure 15, we found that majority of the respondents, which were 25 respondents with 50%, state that the speed of the Wi-Fi provided by Gadong State House was at average. This reason because they state that they lost connection while using it. Besides, 24 respondents with 48% claim that the speed of the Wi-Fi were excellent. This was because they can get easy access to whatever page that they wanted without facing internet connection problem. In addition, students prefer doing their tasks there as they can enjoy their study. Meanwhile, the remaining of the respondent, which was one respondent with 2%, claimed that he or she was dissatisfied towards the speed of Wi-Fi provided, as he or she cannot connect with his smartphone, hence asked for the latest version of Wi-Fi. That's all for me. Now I would like to pass this presentation to my colleague. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to Miss Siani. My name is Nur Shafika binti Amir. My metric number is 262121. Okay, I would like to continue the group presentation on the conclusion part. There are 3 subtopics under conclusion, which are menu, facilities, and overall conclusion. Okay, for menu part, the study has found that Gadong Steakhouse offer various type of food in order to fulfill their customer satisfaction level. Okay, most customers prefer to eat Western food in the restaurant because it is healthy and cheap. Okay, for the food portion, Gadong Steakhouse still offer a big portion for their customer, either Western or heavy food. Okay, next, a good thing about this restaurant is Gadong Steakhouse provide a delicious food that most of their customers love because they have a skillful chef. Okay, customers like to eat at Gadong Steakhouse because the restaurant cares about the food temperature, as the food is directly served to the customer after it has been cooked. Okay, to retain or add new customers, the restaurant should add a variety of food in their menu because customers' tastes are always changing. For facilities part, in conclusion, Gadong Steakhouse provide enough space for car park area that can accommodate the number of visitors who came to the restaurant. Next, most of customers prefer outdoor dining at Gadong Steakhouse. Okay, this is because the restaurant provides two types of dine-in, which is indoor and outdoor, and it leads to customers' comfortableness. Okay, for condition of facilities, it can be concluded that Gadong Steakhouse provide a comfortable space and seating arrangement in the restaurant. It can reduce customers' complaint especially when the restaurant have many customers in one time. They will be happy and satisfied that they don't have to wait for a long time when eating at Gadong Steakhouse. Okay, furthermore, the restaurant have excellent Wi-Fi service for their customers' usage. It can increase the level of customer satisfaction when visiting the restaurant. Okay, overall conclusions, it can be concluded that the factors leading customers' satisfaction level toward Gadong Steakhouse are types of food provided, food rate, facilities provided, and condition of facilities. However, there are factors leading to customers' dissatisfaction, which are limited choices of beverage, bad value of food, inefficient service, and insufficient facilities. For recommendation part, there are two types, which are recommendation for menu and recommendation for facilities. For recommendation for menu, we would recommend Mr. Shah, which is the owner of the restaurant, to add on their menu to the latest and make it viral. Besides, it also recommends that Gadong Steakhouse should have their own recipes in the Western meal or any beverage that will symbolize the uniqueness of Gadong Steakhouse. For facilities, we would recommend Mr. Shah, the owner of Gadong Steakhouse, to have a transparent roof in outdoor dine due to the problem of bad weather during rainy days. Next, we would recommend Gadong Steakhouse to have transparent roof because we want to maintain the open air concept. Okay, in addition, it proposed the Gadong Steakhouse should increase the number of chairs and tables because at peak hours there will be problems where customers to have to queue to take place to dine in later. That's all for our group presentation. Thank you.